As more English language learners become a part of the mainstream classroom, teachers, students, and school leaders need to work together to welcome and support them into the school. The purpose of my project was to investigate and understand an immigrant family's perspective, values, culture, and aspirations. Through interviews and research, teachers and other stakeholders in education will better understand the importance of researching and knowing the culture of their students. The island of Puerto Rico is located east of the Dominican Republic and is one of the smallest islands of the Greater Antilles. In the Caribbean, the Greater Antilles consists of Cuba, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico. When Christopher Columbus arrived in Puerto Rico in 1493, he originally referred to the island as San Juan Bautista. When he discovered the gold in the river, he decided to name the island Puerto Rico, or Richport, and the main city name became San Juan. Taino Indians were the first inhabitants of the island until conquistadors and other Europeans arrived in the 16th century. The Spanish rule of the 16th century shaped the culture and people of the island. The King of Ferdinand sent African slaves to work in the farmland. Sugarcane, ginger, tobacco, and coffee were the main cash crops produced on the farms. The religion also changed. The religion of the territory became strictly Catholic, and the King of Ferdinand prohibited other religions to be practiced at that time. In 1898, there was a monumental war between the United States and Spain, also known as the Spanish-American War. This war resulted in the end of Spanish colonial rule and gave America ownership over territories like Puerto Rico. In 1917, the Jones Act granted U.S. citizenship to all Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rico would become a self-governing commonwealth in the years to come, in 1952. In 2005, Puerto Rico experienced economic hardships. Many schools and offices closed down due to a deficit in public funds. In 2017, Hurricane Maria and Irma hit the island. About 1 million people did not have power, and about 50,000 people did not have access to water. Because of the level of devastation, the recovery of the hurricane has been slow. However, significant progress has been made, and reconstruction continues to benefit the economy and infrastructure. In the past, the languages spoken in the island were of Taino descent. Tainos were indigenous people who lived in the Caribbean and Florida, and their language derived from the Arawak tribe. As Spanish conquerors entered and settled on the island, Spanish became the next dominant language. Spanish is now the official language of the territory. The second language most commonly used is English and is taught starting in middle or intermediate school. Students are required to go to school between the ages of 6 and 17 and either attend public or private schools. In the San Juan metropolitan area, Catholic and other private schools are favored. It is considered to be a higher level of education. According to the globalcomedy.com, about 92% of the population is literate. Puerto Rico is ranked 6th in the world for the most students attending some form of tertiary education or college education. The cultural richness found in Puerto Rican society is the result of the blending of many cultures and ethnicities for over 500 years. The various populations that have migrated to the island consist of people of Spanish and European descent and of African and Asian ancestry. These people mix with the native Tainos to create what is known today as Puerto Rican culture. Puerto Rican salsa music and dance are well known throughout the world. There are elements of jazz, Afro-Caribbean rhythms, and instrumentation. Salsa and various forms of folk music are a common form of entertainment and events. Christmas celebrations are great examples of that type of music. The celebration of Christmas begins at the end of November and ends in the middle of January. Christmas is a time for family, friends, and celebrations. Puerto Rico cuisine is another part of Puerto Rican culture. It is a blend of Spanish, African, and Taino influences. The most famous dish the country is known for is mofongo. Mofongo is a deep-fried mashed plantain dish that has pork or seafood stuffed in the middle of it. Educators, office staff, and administrative leaders are often the first to interact with immigrant families and need to ensure that they are welcomed. A welcoming environment that celebrates students' cultures and encourages family leadership creates a strong foundation for relationships, as well as for identifying and addressing challenges. The front office can welcome families by decorating their office with a welcome sign in different languages. The office can also provide a brochure of information for teachers, school leaders, and parents that state immigration rights and whom to talk to as far as community groups and local advocates. Teachers that are culturally responsive value and acknowledge what makes each person an asset to the classroom. They do this by taking the time out to pronounce the student's name correctly, and he or she will also model how it is correctly pronounced to the class. Teachers should research the traditions, taboos, values, and other aspects that are a part of the student's culture. They can also encourage students to share their culture and language with the class. They can do this by sharing objects or sharing personal stories. Lastly, teachers should attend events that mean the most to the students, either that's through festivals or events. Home visits give teachers and school leaders a snapshot of a student and their family's lives, how they interact and communicate, and what their challenges, interests, and values are. It also establishes a strong connection. This connection will build trust and communication on a deeper level. Home visits are important because it shows that teachers and alike value the well-being and success of their community. It also gives teachers an opportunity to learn in a way that might not be accessible in a classroom setting.